we are discussing July 18 current affairs today. So it is helpful to the various competitive exams. So the first question is, which state secured the first rank in Niti Aayog Investment Friendliness Index 2026? That is option B, Gujarat is the correct answer. See, Niti Aayog launched the Investment Friendliness Index 2026 benchmarking business system. Gujarat crowded the top position, followed by Maharashtra, owing to its rapid regulatory reforms and massive infrastructure developments and growths. See, next question is, India's first privately developed orbital class rocket Vikram 1 was launched from which facility? Option A, Wheeler Island, Odisha. Option B, Tumba Equatorial Station. Option C, Satish Dhawan Space Center. Option D, Kulasekarapattanam spacecraft. Which is the right answer? That is option C, Satish Dhawan Space Center. The historic orbital launch of Vikram 1 by Skyroot Aerospace took place at Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikuta. This marks a massive leap for private aerospace companies in India's space ecosystem. The Skyroot Aerospace is from Hyderabad. The next question is, where has India commissioned its deepest operational geothermal energy well? That is the option A, Puga Valley, Ladakh. Option B, Tattapani, Chhattisgarh. Option C, Himachal Pradesh. Option D, West Bengal. That is option A is the right answer, Puga Valley, Ladakh. See, India's first high capacity geothermal well was commissioned in Puga Valley. The Puga Valley is in Ladakh. This provides continuous clean energy to remote cold regions, tapping directly into intense subterranean heat resources. The next question is, the newly approved mobile phone manufacturing scheme MPMS directly succeed which scheme? That is FAME India scheme, PLI scheme for large scale electronics, modified electronics clusters. Option D, Digital India Core Mission. Which is the right answer? MPMS. That is option B is the correct answer. PLI scheme for large scale electronics. The Union Cabinet approved MPMS with an outlay of 62,500 crore to succeed the original PLI scheme for electronics. It targets deep domestic value addition, moving beyond pure hardware assemblies. The next question is, which Indian city hosted the first ever BRICS energy centric hackathon Go BRICS Energy Othon in 2026? That is option D is the right answer. That is Bengaluru. Bengaluru, Karnataka hosted the historic BRICS events. Tech teams collaborated on smart grid solutions and clean energy software to accelerate decarbonization framework across member countries. Next question is, the new spread-wing damselfie species Listus paloti was discovered in which ecological region? Which one? Listus paloti. Option A, Eastern Himachala. B, Western Ghat, Kerala. Option C, Nicobar Islands. Option D, Aravalli Range, Rajasthan. The correct answer is B. Western Ghat, Kerala. Odontologist identified Listus paloti in the laterite hillocks of the Western Ghat, Kerala. This discovery marks the first addition to this genus in India since 1987. The next question is, according to National Cybercrime Reporting, which state registered the highest number of cyber fraud complaints? Option A Uttar Pradesh, option B Maharashtra, option C Karnataka, option D Tamil Nadu. Option A is the correct answer, that is Uttar Pradesh. The National Cybercrime Database identified Uttar Pradesh as the state registering the maximum number of digital crime complaints, emphasizing the need for robust cyber policing system. This maximum cases are listed in this state. The next question is, India's first specialized night safari and day zoo is being constructed in which city? That is Lucknow. The Supreme Court cleared the landmark Kukrail Night Safari project in Lucknow. This shift creates India's first ever dedicated night viewing wildlife park. The next question is, which city played host to the 5th BIMSTEC National Security Advisories meeting? That is option C New Delhi. 5th BIMSTEC National Security Advisories meeting. New Delhi hosted the 5th BIMSTEC NSA meeting to draft a security coordination framework targeting maritime smuggling and trans-border digital crime networks. So next question is, the Ministry of External Affairs organized its regional Videsh Sampark program in which city? Videsh Sampark program in which city? That is Jaipur, Rajasthan. Jaipur in Rajasthan. The Videsh Sampark program was conducted in Jaipur to ensure safe legal migration paths and streamline consular assistance workflow for non-resident workers. So next question is, to what value did the RBI Financial Inclusion Index FI index rise as of March 2026? That is option B 75.5. Not 75.5, that is option B 70. The RBI Composite Financial Inclusion Index surged to 70, reflecting deepened penetration, improved asset usage metrics and structural financial literacy growth in rural zones. It is very useful to the financial literacy growth in rural areas. Next question is, which state government launched the Pilale Sampada program to tackle falling fertility rate? That is Andhra Pradesh. Option C is the correct answer, Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh launched Pilale Sampada transitioning policy focused towards family stability and demographic planning to secure sustainable economic structures. See, next question is, India recently established a roadmap to double trade by 2030 with which strategic partners? Australia, United Kingdom, New Zealand, Canada. roadmap to double trade by 2030. That is, India and New Zealand elevated tied to a strategic partnership. The roadmap targets doubling bilateral trade volume with emphasis on agricultural, science, and dairy supply chains. It is very useful to these sectors. So next question is, what is the central target of the National Investment Policy for Urea 2026? That is C. Atmanirbharata, self-reliance. See, the NIPU 2026 scheme targets absolute self-reliance in urea production by expanding domestic gas-based production facilities to completely eliminate impact expenditures. Self-reliance in urea industry. Urea, it is fertilizer to use farmers. So INS Malwan, recently commissioned into the Indian Navy, is classified under which category? Which category? Option A, anti-submarine warfare craft. Option B, stealth guided destroyer. Option C, nuclear attack submarine. Option D, amphibious assault ship. Which one is right? Option A is the right answer, anti-submarine warfare. INS Malwan is a state-of-the-art anti-submarine shallow water craft built by Cochin Shipyard, designed for deep subsurface tracking and coastal security operations. Next question is, what is the India's rank in the World Economic Forum Energy Transition Index 2026? That is option B, 67th. India scored the 67th rank on the Global Energy Transition Index. The progress honors local renewable installation rates and systematic integration of carbon mitigation framework. The next question is, which shipyard built India's first indigenous hydrogen powered fuel cell ferry? That is option C, Cochin Shipyard Limited. Cochin Shipyard Limited pioneered construction of the country's first indigenous hydrogen fuel cell catamaran, steering national logistics towards zero emission inland maritime targets. The next question is, which nation has put forth a bid to host the UN COP31 climate summit? That is India. India submitted an official proposal to host COP31, demonstrating global leadership in driving developing world interest and mobilizing climate finances. The next question is, which portal serves as the unified database for managing tiger and elephant conservation? That is option B, Prithvi portal. The Ministry of Environmental launched the unified Prithvi portal. It acts as a consolidated ecological intelligence hub, assisting forest ranges in controlling active conflict zones. The next question is, last question is, which Indian state is the first to implement an universal basic income for elderly citizens? That is option A, Sikkim. Sikkim pioneered the roll out of the targeted universal basic income to secure nutritional and financial autonomy for citizen aged 65 and above. Thank you so much, friends. Please do subscribe for my channel for more videos. Thank you so much.